Thank you for joining us today. My name is Paul Kautza. I'm the Director of Education for the Data Warehousing Institute, and we're here in San Diego with Tony Politano, the author of Chief Performance Officer. Tony, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Tony, I know that Chief Performance Officer, you coined the term and wrote the book back in 2003, and you've been working with a number of organizations in implementing the Chief Performance Officer, but it wasn't until President Obama really appointed a Chief Performance Officer that all the press came and you were on Fox News and CNN with some different things. But I was wondering if you could help us understand the term, even though it's not brand new. It's new to a lot of us because we're just hearing it now. What is a Chief Performance Officer, and really what do they do?
Well, the term is actually new. Most people haven't adopted it. But what the Chief Performance Officer is really about is understanding the performance of the organization. So it's you create accountability within an organization for performance, and somebody who lives and dies by, I want to understand the performance, I'm going to manage it. Problem in a lot of organizations right now is that it's really about everybody's business or nobody's business. So the CPO becomes that single point of focus that you really need within the organization.
So how does that differ from a CTO or a CFO or the other C-suite positions?
Well, I think there's already too many C's in an organization, so I'm not sure if everyone's actually going to adopt this term for this, but the idea behind it is that it complements the other C's. So the example is a Chief Operating Officer. They're so busy right now just trying to keep the lights on, get product out the door, that they don't even worry about performance, or they don't have the time to worry about performance. So the CPO really becomes a complementary position to the other C offices.
Well, what are some of the unique challenges that the public sector might face in adopting a CPO strategy?
Oh, heck, there's a lot of challenges. I mean, one of the bigger ones is actually complexity. I mean, if you're dealing in a commercial organization, you might have a number of divisions, a number of different product lines that you need to deal with, but you're dealing with a very large, complex organization that typically does not work well together. So the complexity presents an issue that's unfathomable for some people. The other problem is that it's really a one-way street. When you're in the commercial organization, you can worry about revenue, you can worry about margin, top line, bottom line. When you're a CPO in the organization of the federal government, or really any agency, you're dealing with cost control, spend leakage. So you only have one lever to press with this, as compared in the commercial, you have a top and a bottom line lever to press.
Well, what if an organization doesn't have a CPO title? Can they still get the benefits of what you're trying to do and what the CPO should be doing?
Yeah, actually, there's a heck of a lot of organizations that are doing CPO stuff right now. Sometimes they call it the Office of Performance Management. Office of Management and Budget actually does a lot of what the CPO is doing. And if people adopt the term, you know what, that's great. But if they don't adopt the term, they still do what a CPO needs, they're going to get the benefits. One of the unique things about the government is that the agencies are actually being forced to appoint Chief Performance Officers. So I've already run into some who are Chief Performance Officers that don't know what their job is yet. So it's a very unique time. Here's my job, tell me what I need to do.
Very good. What about technology? What should a CPO know about technology?
Well, the idea behind technology for a CPO is not so much to be in the inner workings of the technology. It's more about understanding how technology works. Think about how in the 1800s most factories were powered by coal or powered by water. People knew how to get the energy out of that, but they didn't understand the molecular breakdown of the coal as they were burning things there. But that's kind of what the CPO needs to be about. It needs to understand how to leverage that technology, but not necessarily be the Java expert in this.
Terrific. Well, that was very informative, Tony, and we are going to have Tony be our keynote speaker at our Federal Government Symposium on September 23rd. So if you're interested in hearing more about the CPO, join us in Washington, D.C. on September 23rd for Tony's keynote presentation. And Tony, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thanks again.
And thank you for listening. This is Paul Kautza, and we're at the Data Warehousing Institute in San Diego. Thank you very much.